Hello everyone, welcome to the video tutorial for Calibrated Peer Review brought to you by the Department of Biology at the University of Kentucky. This is the first of 3 video tutorials on YouTube. This first one will be a basic introduction to the concept of CPR as well as the timeline of CPR. The second video will be a hands-on demonstration of how to access the website and create a user profile. And the third video will be a hands-on demonstration of doing an actual assignment. So Calibrated Peer Review, or CPR, is an online software that allows students to learn writing skills by evaluating each other's writing and seeing examples of different styles and qualities of writing. This allows us to bring writing to the next level by giving you critical thinking opportunities to understand how to recognize quality writing examples, as well as tying them into basic concepts that we teach in the classroom. Hopefully, we think you'll gain a better understanding of the material by evaluating each other and yourselves throughout the course of these assignments. In biology courses, CPR is presented as an experimental lab report, which serves 2 purposes. One, it allows us to introduce the concepts of the scientific method to you, the students, and secondly, it also allows us to introduce the style of scientific writing that we use in biology. Through these lab reports, you'll be able to devise methods that test a specific hypothesis that you yourself will come up with. You'll gain results that will be quantifiable and presentable in the form of tables and graphs. And you'll also be able to give a clear and concise discussion based on the results that you yourself have acquired. The basic timeline for CPR can be broken down into 4 steps. The first step is text entry. This is where you write out your assignment, submit the assignment to CPR online, or upload it online in an improved format. This could be a PDF or a Word document. However, each class may be different, so be sure to check the guidelines before you submit your paper. The second step are the calibrations. This is where you'll be given 3 pre-evaluated writing assignments that we, the instructors, have already graded. Your score on each of these calibrations will determine your reviewer competency index, or your RCI. This score allows CPR to evenly and fairly evaluate each student. If you're a student that's been graded by a poor reviewer and that reviewer doesn't give you an accurate score, that score won't reflect as much on your score as someone who did better on the calibrations. We'll go into more detail about these later. The third step are the peer reviews, and this is where you actually get a chance to evaluate the writing of your own peers. You'll use the same questions to score these papers as you did in the calibrations. And this is another way that the calibrations serve as sort of a way to get you used to the scoring process. By using the same questions and keeping everything very stringent, we hope to make the CPR evaluations very objective and systematic. The last step is a self-assessment, and this is where you get your own paper back and you have to score it. You'll use the same questions as before with the calibrations and the reviews, and we hope that at this point, after seeing so many different qualities of writing, you have a better understanding of your own paper and of the material, and will give yourself a more objective and fair score. So now let's break these down and talk about them in more detail. So the first step is text entry. Now we fully expect you guys to have this ready before you even access the site. For biology courses, we require you to save your document in a PDF format. This ensures that any of your peers that get your paper, regardless of what device or operating system they use, they'll be able to view your paper. When you're on the site, you'll want to confirm that you've uploaded the correct document, as any kind of error that occurs and it's not caught before the deadline can't be fixed. Be sure to watch the video demonstration on YouTube, and we'll go into more detail with that. It's also very important that you do not include any identifying information in your document. CPR is meant to be an anonymous grading, and to avoid any kind of bias and or ridicule from your peers, we request that you do not include any name or identifying information on your documents. The next step are the calibrations. Again, these are 3 pre-evaluated papers of varying quality. You'll get one that's a low quality, one that's a medium quality, and one that's a high quality. They will not be presented to you in that order. Even if your class does require you to upload a document or attach a document during the text entry, calibrations will never have any attached document. Formatting will be as you see it. In the case of looking at images or graphs, you'll get a hyperlink within the calibration text but everything else as far as paragraphs, boldface, things like that will be formatted on the screen for you to see. After you read through each calibration, you'll be presented with 10 yes or no questions. These same questions will appear for the peer reviews as well as for the self-assessment, and it's very important to pay attention and read the questions carefully and answer them to the best of your abilities. Question 11 is always going to be, how would you rate this paper? And in the biology courses at least, question 11 will always be calculated by adding up the number of yes answers on questions 1 through 10. Be sure to go back and double and triple check yourself, because many people have lost points due to lack of ability to count. The next two steps are pretty much the same. It's a peer review and the self-assessment. Here you're going to download papers submitted by your peers, and in the case of self-assessment, your own paper. And you're going to evaluate these based on the same 10 yes or no questions as you received in the calibrations. The only difference here is for the peer review, you'll be required to provide explanations for all the answers. It's important to explain yourself, regardless of whether or not you give a yes or no answer. It gives you accountability, makes you responsible for the score that you give to one of your peers. When it comes to the self-assessment, it's also very important to be honest when evaluating your own work. Many people think that it's okay to simply blow this off and give themselves a 10 out of 10. However, improper grading during the self-assessment may reduce your own score. So the next steps after this are to access and register at the CPR website. It's shown here for your copy pasting pleasure. Once you get to the site, you'll use your UKID, number that starts with a 1, to create a profile, and then you'll be given your own unique CPR ID, which is a letter followed by a 5-digit number. Be sure to add your email to your profile so it makes it easier for the instructors to get a hold of you should there be any problems with your account or your profile. After you've created your CPR ID, you're free to take the CPR tour and the pretest, and then you can access the course and the assignments. Be sure to do this well ahead of your text entry deadline, because it does take a while and late assignments will not be accepted. Any questions, comments, or complaints can be directed towards the instructors, Mother Srinivasan, or myself, Jiffin Paulos, or you can talk to your professor.